So let's create one more package. Let's call it deleted. Okay, so far we have the about package, archive package, deleted, details, home package, and notes, and finally settings. So our about fragment will just hold details about this application, and our archive fragment will hold the archived notes. Our deleted fragment will hold the deleted notes, and details will hold the detailed screen of the notes, and home will just contain the single activity. So this project is built upon a single activity and multiple fragments, and the notes fragment will hold the notes list, and finally the settings will hold the settings fragment. So let's go ahead and create string resources for our destination fragments and activities. So let's navigate to the rest folder and our values, the strings file. So right here we'll create string resources for our destination fragments and activities. Okay, so the first will be the notes fragment. It's going to be a string. The notes fragment, it's a label. Let's just call it all notes. I'm going to copy this and paste it multiple times. So this here will be, let's have the about fragment label, final, and then archive, followed by deleted. Then I'm going to copy some small again. This is going to be settings. So notes, about, archive, deleted, and settings. Alright, so this will be about, and the value for this will be archived, this will be archive, this is deleted, this will be settings. Now that we have these labels in place, we can go ahead and create the fragments for these individual packages. So let's start with the about fragment. Just hit right click on the about package, go to new and new fragment, and you select the fragment blank. So we'll name this about fragment, and you hit on finish. So we'll do the same for these remaining packages. Deleted, new, fragment blank. We'll call this deleted. Details here will be an activity and not a fragment. So you're just going to create new activity, and we go for the empty activity. Let's name this the details activity. Then we finish. So inside settings package, we'll add a new fragment, and we'll call this the settings fragment. The finish. So right now I want to refactor the archive fragment. Let me rename it. Refactor, rename. So I'm going to name this archive fragment. And I'm also going to refactor the nodes. It's going to be nodes fragment. Let me close all these open pens. Okay, so now that I've refactored the actual fragments, right now I'm going to refactor their layout files. So this uses the fragment second binding and layout fragment second binding. So this has changed to archive fragment. I'm going to refactor. I'm going to name this fragment archive. Do the refactor. So I'm going to change this binding into fragment archive. Let me see what the problem is. Okay, let me just remove all these imports. Okay, good. So which means fragment first is the nodes fragment. So I'm going to refactor this as well to fragment nodes. Do refactor. And this will change to fragment nodes binding. And same here. So I'm also going to remove this import. Okay, so right now our destinations are looking good. Alright, so now the last thing that I want us to do, let's navigate to our navigation graph so that we can define how we navigate from one screen to another. Res inside navigation, open the nav graph. So inside here we have two screens, the first fragment and the second fragment. And remember, we changed the name for this first fragment. It's here, name, it's the nodes fragment. So you're going to change the ID to match the name. It's going to be nodes fragment. And I'm going to change this second fragment to be archive. Okay, so let me add the remaining destinations. The fragment about, we have the deleted fragment, and the activity details. Let me also add one more. Okay, now that's okay. So alright, so now we have all our destinations inside our nav graph. Right now I want to give these destinations a label that will be displayed in the action bar. I'll start with the deleted fragment. So we already have a label in our resources, the deleted fragment label. Alright, then move to the about fragment and we do the same. sorry, this is the about fragment. Archive and notes. So right now when you run this app, you should see some minor changes, especially on the app bar. Let me just run it. So while this finishes, let me just bring up the user interface so you can see what you're building. So this is how the Notes UI should look like. We have the app bar and this search interface, and at the bottom we have this bottom app bar with the fab at the middle. So this is what we are supposed to be building. Okay, so the app has just run. It's finished running. Okay, so my app just run. So as you can see, the top app bar has changed the title to all notes, and when you navigate to the other fragment, then you'll see that it has changed the title too. So of course this is not the behavior that we want, to be navigating from notes to archive. So we're going to change this. So first, let's navigate to our XML file, the activity main. So here we'll be changing some bit of the layout. First of all, you're going to show the navigation drawer. Then we're also going to add the bottom up bar. So let's start with the drawer. So we add a drawer layout tag. We make this match parent. We make this match parent too. Then we can use fit system windows. Set this to true. Then we're going to use tools, open drawer. So this will help us visualize the navigation drawer. So the drawer layout should be the top root in the XML file. So we're going to add this coordinator layout inside the drawer layout. But before that, let's add the navigation view. This is wrap content, and that should be match parent. Then we're going to add the layout gravity to start. Then we're also going to add the fit system windows to true. Okay, so that's finished. So let's take this coordinator layout and place it inside the drawer. Okay, so our drawer is already set. So the other thing that we're going to do is add the bottom up bar, and we'll add it here. The bottom up bar, that's going to be match parent, and that will be wrap content. So we are going to anchor the fab to the bottom up bar. Layout anchor. Let me just give this an ID. I want to make sure that the bottom up bar is aligned to the bottom. Let me set the fab, its cradle margin to 8 dp. and the fab alignment mode to be center. Okay. Okay, so now that this is finished, let's set these views up in our activity. So let's head back to our main activity. So we are going to add our drawer into the app bar configuration right here. I did not give this drawer an ID. Let me just give it. Okay, heading back to the activity. Right, so now I want to connect the navigation view also. Let me give this an ID also. I did not give it. Navigation view. I'm going to set it up with the nav controller. Then I pass the nav controller. Okay, so from now I'm going to run the app so that you can visualize our changes. So once you run the app, then this is what you're supposed to see. So as you can see, the navigation drawer works, and it comes with this menu icon. And the bottom up bar, there seems to be an issue. So let's navigate back to the XML file. So as you can see, there's margins that we should remove. We just remove these margins. And this left gravity too. Okay, so that should fix it.
So once you run the app, then that should have fixed the bottom up bar and the floating action button issue. So the other issue that I want us to look at is the navigation drawer. The navigation drawer right now is empty, so we're going to add menus here.